Okay, it's official. We're starting.
Okay.
Up to this point, we have learned how to graph using a t-chart. Right? I did that at the end of my lecture on 3 useful ways to write equations. How many people re-watched that video, by the way? 3 useful ways to write equations. Awesome, awesome. It's a really important lecture. Really important to understand. Three different useful ways. There's a million ways. There's like an infinite number of ways to write equations. Because of our famous little rule, the golden rule of algebra, you can write an equation and you can with 1,000 on both sides. You could write an equation and then put a denominator in it, on both sides, right? And so like there's tons of ways to write equations, but only a few really useful ones, or at least ones that we have identified. All right, there's only a few ways that we have actually identified that are really useful. So there is, what are they? Slope, intercept, point, slope, and the last one is standard. Right? So you have slope-intercept form, point-slope form, and standard form. At least for those first two in particular give you some really important information. We're going to talk about the first one, slope-intercept form. That is y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to write that up here. Y equals, and I'm realizing I want different colors. There's m. Here's m x plus, let's see, we'll use, whoops.
Pink, use pink. No, Karen, use pink.
Sorry, I'm putting the wrong ones in the wrong caps here.
Use pink. Please use pink.
Alright, pink looks too close to red on a video, so I'm going to try that. So basically, y equals mx plus b. Notice, what's this called again? What's the form? What's the form called?
No, it's
slope-intercept. Slope-intercept. Y equals mx plus b. Slope-intercept. 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 What did they give you in the slope-intercept form?
Intercept doesn't even sound like a word.
Well, it is. We'll talk about that. We'll talk.
You ever watch football?
Okay, Hunter. Okay.
They gave you
Slope-intercept. Slope-intercept. Right. They gave us, it's called this, just so you guys know, it's called the slope-intercept
No idea what's called that.
form. Right? Slope-intercept form. Whoops. Form. So look at this. Y equals mx plus b. M is your slope. That's your m. And your b is your intercept. That's your b. Okay? So every time you're given an equation that's written in slope-intercept form, you have been given everything you need to graph that within 10 seconds or less. Many of you will take about 4 seconds to graph these graphs that normally take you with a t-chart about a minute, right? Sometimes some people take longer with the t-chart, some people take shorter with the t-chart. But it's going to be a lot quicker to use this shortcut. So to memorize this shortcut is a great idea. All right, so the question is, first of all, what is an intercept? Kareem.
It's when the line crosses 0.
Like
from one side to the second.
Yeah, so it's like when a line, if I drew a line and so let's say I drew this line, it's crossing both the x-axis and the y-axis. You guys all know this is called the y-axis, right?
Yeah.
And you guys know this is called the x-axis, right? Right? So when I draw a line like this, it's crossing the x-axis right here at 3, and it's crossing the y-axis here at 4, right? Those are called my intercepts. So what is my x-intercept? 3. What is my y-intercept? 4, exactly, right? Does that make sense? My x-intercept is whatever it is when it crosses the x-axis. My y-intercept is wherever it is when it crosses the y-axis. That is like hugely important information because it means now we know immediately a point on this graph, on this line. Right? Immediately. We know exactly what to do. So let's do it. So let's say we have an equation. We'll use green here. Well, yeah, whatever. So we got y is equal to 1/2 x plus 3. Okay? This, by the way, when I say the intercept, what we're talking about is the y-intercept. So just so you know, it's y-intercept. It's not your x-intercept, it's your y-intercept. So what is my y-intercept in this equation? Sal? 3. Exactly. Look at that. B is my y-intercept. 3, if that were a -3, it would be -3. If it were a -6, it would be -6. If it's +3, it's +3. That's my intercept. So it's my y-intercept. So I go over here, and I go to my y-axis. I start at 0, 0, and I go down to, or up to +3. Because that's my y-intercept. The line is going to intercept this y-axis at +3. That's my first point. That's my first point. I don't have to use a t-chart. I just read the problem. Oh, 3. I go over here and I go up 3 and I put a dot. Because this is always going to be on the y-axis. Always the y-axis. So I just go 3 on the y-axis, +3, put a dot. Everybody's with me so far?
Yeah.
Pretty easy, right? Now all we need to do is find our next point. And that is something we do by using the slope. Green.
Or the slope. Or I was just going to
Yeah, say it. Go ahead.
I've written like rise over run.
Yes! Oh, beautiful. All right, you guys have to know this. This is so important. Slope. 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 Is always referred to in algebra with an M. Right? Mountain, I guess. Mountains have slopes, right? Because, I mean, that's the only option. You just can't slope.
It's got like a
Slope. Right? Doesn't work. All right? So mountain, whatever. All right? But a slope is always a distance up versus a distance out. You know what I'm saying? That's how you measure slope. You know, this is no slope. Now look, it goes up a little and over a lot. Here it goes up a little more and over a little more, a little less. Here it goes up a lot and over just a tiny bit.
And you find that
right?
by the 1/2,
Right? And so slope is always called rise over run. Okay? That's really important to understand. So what kind of a number would that always be? Rise over run. There's a line right there between them. What is it?
Fraction.
It's a fraction, right? So when you think slope, you always think fraction. What's the fraction? What's the slope?
1/2.
1/2. So what is my rise? Yes, Kareem.
1.
So I'm going to rise 1 and run 2. Because my slope is rise over run. So I'm rising 1 and I'm running 2. Now, from where?
0.
No,
3.
not 0.
From your
Yes,
y-intercept.
+3. I start from my point that I just graphed. Using my 3, I come over here now, and I use my green marker, and I am going to rise 1. So from here, I put my marker right on that green point, and I rise 1. So I'm rising up to here, but I'm not going to put a dot there because it says I also have to run 2. So I'm going to run 1, 2. Now I'm going to put a dot. Now this is really cool. Watch this. If it's a straight line, the whole line has the same slope, right? So I'm going to rise 1 again, and then I'm going to run 2 again. I'm going to put another dot. I'm going to rise 1, run 2, put another dot. Rise 1, run 2, put another dot. Rise 1, run 2, put another dot. I can do it until I fall asleep. right? But I don't want to do it that long. So I'm going to just stop there, and I just have a straight line, and I just draw it. And I have just graphed that equation.
That's so cool.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
So when you get y equals mx plus b, the first thing you look at is the last number. That's your y-intercept. You go over here and you plot it. Positive 3, I go up 3 and I put a dot on the y-axis. This is always on the y-axis, this last number, always. Once I put that dot, I go to the number right in front of my x. And whatever that number is, write it as a fraction. If it was y equals 1/2 x, it's be rise over 1, rise 1, run 2. If it's 2, what would it be?
It'd be 2 over 1.
Right. If it's 10, what would it be?
10 over 1.
10 over 1. You turn it into a fraction. So you'd rise 10, run 1, right? Whatever it is, turn it into a fraction. And then you go back to your point, and you rise whatever the number is, and run whatever the number is. So now let's try it. Let's try it with a bunch of problems, and just see if you guys get this. It's pretty fun. All right, so we're using now red for this one. I'm going to use the same graph. So y is equal to 2/3 x minus 7. What is my, okay, write that down. Write that, so you, I don't want to go too fast. So what's my y-intercept? Wyatt, what is it? Almost. -7, right? So it's good. That's my y-intercept. So I'm going to come over here, and on my y-axis, I'm going to go down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to put a big dot there at 7. Now, from that dot, I need my slope to find the next point. What's my slope? 2/3. So I'm going to rise 2, and I'm going to run 3. So from this point, I'm going to rise 2, and I'm going to run 3, and I'm going to put a dot. And if I was doing it in 4 seconds, I would just stop there, and I would draw my line like this. Right? And I'm done. If I wanted to be really careful and really sure, I could go up 2 and over 3. Oops, see, I missed it. Up 2 over 3. Then I can get a straighter line. Right? So maybe I should rewrite, since this is on a video. Well, I guess I should make a straighter line. So here, we've got a straighter line now. Sort of.
Yay!
Right? Okay, so there's that. So that's that one. That was pretty easy. Let's try another one. Let's try blue. Blue, blue, blue. Okay, here we go. Y is equal to, now I'm going to do one, I'm going to do a trick on this one. First of all, fist to 5. How are you guys getting this so far? I just want to know.
Okay.
Fist to 5, fist to 5, fist to 5. Very cool. Awesome. All right, now I'm going to throw you a curveball, okay?
Oh no.
Curveball.
Ah, no.
Y is equal to negative 1/4 x plus plus 6.
Does that mean you go down?
Ah, exactly. Remember, when you have a negative sign in front of the slope, instead of it being rise, well, it is rise over run, you're always going to run to the right. You always run to the right. You run to the right. Right, 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 run. They both start with R, right? You run right, run right, right? Run right. You got it, right? Right, 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 run. What direction do you run?
Right.
Right, always right. That's right. That's good. Okay. So, but rise. The negative sign goes with the rise. So what would be a negative rise? Down, right? Right, it's a fall. You know, your negative rise would be falling. So fall over run. So, all right, so the first thing I do is I look at my y-intercept and I go plot that.
Wouldn't it be fall over walk?
Say what?
Then wouldn't it be fall over walk if you were
Going down? Yeah.
Why would you walk?
Fall over run. We'll keep it
fall.
we'll keep the rust so you remember right? So, okay, I'm going to go up and get my y-intercept at 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put a dot there at 6. And from 6, I'm going to keep my pencil or marker on 6. I'm going to go down, negative rise of 1. So I'm going to go down 1 and then over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, look at that. It shares this point with this other one. Down 1 over 4. Look at that. And that's probably good enough. So I'll just draw my line. This isn't the best marker. I hope it shows up on the video. I think I will just not use that again. Does that make sense? You get it? All right, I think that's it for now, for the lecture part. And then I'm going to put a few up here and let you guys actually practice a few, okay? All right? So,
Whiteboard.
hard to see that blue, but that's okay.